We're going old school tonight. I got my notes right here. Leafs against the Devils as they get back from the Western road trip, and now they're back into the East. Let's talk about it. Welcome back. Welcome to HockeyCast. The Leafs face the Devils tonight in Game 64. Let's quickly talk about it. So they're just getting back from their Western road trip back into the East, where they won their last 3 out of 5. The Leafs are without Tavares tonight for precautionary reasons, as he took 2 big hits in the game against Vancouver. Ryan O'Reilly is out for about 4 weeks. He had successful surgery today on his finger, and it looks like he's going to be out about 4 weeks. So he'll be back with about 3 games left in the season, just to, shake the rust off a bit before the playoffs start. And Holmberg and Steves were called up from the Marlies to fill in tonight for their missing players. So tonight, missing Tavares and O'Reilly, this is a good opportunity for Matthews to step up a bit and see what he can do offensively. He's been good defensively and blocking shots and coming all the way back into his own end and creating turnovers and pushing the play to the offense. But tonight, he'll have an opportunity to really drive the offense. So in the first, Samsonov is hot early as the Devils come out, and they're all over the Leafs. But Samsonov came up big. And I might mention that in the warm-up, Samsonov took a shot off the knee, and it didn't look good. They didn't know if he was going to be starting the game or not, but he ended up coming out for the start of the first, and he'd be good for the rest of the game. Didn't look like it affected him through the game. So that's a good sign there. And he played stellar tonight. The Devils had 8 shots in the first 8 minutes, and the Leafs had none. That's how the game started. The Leafs didn't look like they had their legs at all. And Samsonov really kept them in there. So I mentioned Steves was called up. He had a crushing hit on Jonas Segenthaler. And it was a good hit. Segenthaler, he laid there for a second, but quickly bounced up after. And the first power play goes to the Devils, and the Leafs managed to kill it off. And again, another brilliant few saves by Samsonov. After that, the Devils are really pouring it on towards the end of the first period. You can tell that the Leafs just got back from their 2-week road trip, as they just didn't have their legs at all and seemed to step behind. But the Leafs ended up finishing the period on the power play. So the start of the second, the crowd got into it, and they were booing because Liljegren was against the boards, and he was facing the boards in the corner, and he was kind of digging the puck to push it up. Ended up elbowing Palat in the face. No call. It was kind of like a follow through. No call there. The fans didn't like it, obviously. And the game seems to pick up after that with the fans getting involved. New Jersey pours it on, and the Leafs are kind of counteracting all of that energy. And the Leafs find their legs. Jarnkrok ends up scoring from a feed from Nylander. The Leafs are out shooting the Devils in this period 8-3 halfway through the second period. So they've kind of picked up their chances and started out shooting the Devils in this period. Hughes walks in, tries to go 5-hole on Samsonov. But Samsonov doesn't know where it is. He's kind of looking around, but not moving, and it ends up sticking into his pads and makes the save. However, the Devils score late in the second to tie things up, and Hall tries to clear the puck in front of the net, and it ends up hitting a Devils player and stops the clearing attempt and immediately drops down, and another Devil comes in and just swipes at it, and it goes in the back of the net. So things are tied up, and then Holmberg has a wild stick trying to tie up the player in front of the net and ends up getting Palat in the face, and it's a 4-minute penalty. So the Leafs get out of that one. They have about 30 seconds on the penalty kill before the third period. So leaving the second, the game is tied 2-2. At the start of the third, the Devils have about 3.5 minutes on the power play. the Leafs have a good penalty kill to start the period, so they killed that one off, and then they ended up getting another penalty for slashing after the stick breaks. So the Leafs are on the penalty kill again. Shortly into that power play for the Devils, Marner steals the puck from the blue line on the penalty kill and goes up, gets a breakaway, a shorthanded breakaway, and goes backhand, forehand, backhand, managed to lift it up over the goalie and scores. Shortly after that, though, the Devils are still on the power play, and they managed to tie it up shortly after that. So the game is tied again at 2 now. The Devils score on a crazy tip play, and Holmberg was doing, really a flyby at the side of the net instead of stopping up and taking his man and tying up the stick. He does a flyby. I think he thought that the puck was being rung around the boards. And this is the one and only time that I saw where Hall actually finished his check. But as he was finishing his check, the puck went between his legs, and Holmberg was doing a flyby because he thought it was going to be rung around. And it ends up going on a crazy tip in front of Samsonov and into the net. So now the Leafs are playing from behind. The Leafs have chances, and Kerfoot, he had so many chances, he just couldn't seem to buy one. And then Samsonov comes up huge on a breakaway as the Leafs trying to press. So they're vulnerable a little bit to the pushback, but Samsonov comes up big on the breakaway. And then Hall with the stretch pass to Kampf, and then Kampf finds Bunting, goes in and ties the game. And then a little bit later, Meyer gets called for a high stick, and the Leafs get a late power play. And they're looking and pressing for the go-ahead goal. Now, you remember the last time they had a power play in Vancouver, right? And they were pressing for a goal, and they end up turning the puck over, not once, but twice on the same power play. Well, not tonight. Matthews, on the power play, gets a goal and snipes it at 2:53 in the third period. So from the corner, it was passed out, and Bunting, he just let it go between his legs. He saw the pass coming, and he was in a good scoring opportunity. He's in a good place to score, but he just let it go through his legs and right on the tape of Matthews in the slot, and pots the empty net. New Jersey's pressing. They pull their goalie, and it's all hands on deck in the Leafs zone. McCabe ends up stopping or blocking a cross-crease pass, which negates a goal, or a potential goal anyway. And that potentially won the game right there for the Leafs. So the Leafs hang on, their 20th comeback of the year, and they hang on to win 4-3 late in the third. So good game by the Leafs, considering that the first period didn't start off so well, and the players that they're missing tonight in the lineup, and again bringing up a couple of guys to fill in from the Marlies. So I thought they responded well from the Vancouver loss the other night, but they're still jet-lagged, and so it took them a bit to get into this game. And considering they were playing the Devils, who are currently ahead of them in the standings, it could have went either way, really, especially after the first period where it looks like the Devils were just dominating completely. And as a matter of fact, I don't have the shots by period here with me right now, but the Devils definitely outshot the Leafs in the first period by 10-4. And it wasn't until the second where the Leafs found their legs. So good on the Leafs for not giving up and coming back and continuing to push, and which resulted in the win in regulation. So that's it for tonight. If you like this video, click like and subscribe so that you can be notified of the next video that I drop. The next game will be Saturday at 7 o'clock, home game against Edmonton. So the Leafs are at home. Edmonton's coming in, and that'll be their next game. So they have a couple of days to sort themselves out and get ready for Edmonton. and then following that on Monday with Buffalo. So now they have a 4-game homestand. So again, we will talk to you in the next video.